Do you ever find yourself overwhelmed and confused by the mountains of weight loss and health information out there? If so, you are not alone. Weight loss is one of the biggest topics on the internet, and for good reason. So many people struggle with it. But unfortunately, there is a ton of incorrect and even harmful information out there. What you might not know, though, is that there are scientifically proven methods to lose weight and keep it off for good. Methods that hardly anybody talks about. And I'm going to share some of them with you in the second part of the video series on the science of weight loss. In case you don't know me, I'm Mike Howard. I'm the founder of Lean Minded, and I've been a weight loss and fitness coach for over 25 years. And in this video, we are going to focus on two very important areas that you need to focus on when it comes to healthy and sustainable weight loss. The first one being related to mindset, and more specifically, what kind of mindset will best set you up for sustainable weight loss success. Then we're going to talk about habits and behaviors, which might be the most important area because your habits are where your biggest positive changes can take place. Adopting the right habits can literally change your life, and they're actually not that hard to do. So make sure you watch until the very end to discover how you can do it. Okay, first off, we are going to talk about mindset. Now, you've very likely heard the term mindset before, but you've probably most likely heard it within the context of sports or business or entrepreneurship. We're constantly hearing that you need to have the right mindset if you want to succeed. We don't often hear it applied to weight loss and health, though, as the focus is usually solely on diet and exercise. But truthfully, mindset is very much a central component to the science of weight loss. And in my experience, it has been overlooked, it has been underappreciated, it has not been talked about nearly as much as it should be. You see, our mindset surrounding our eating and our movement are truly make or break factors when it comes to our health. And when it comes to losing weight in a healthy and sustainable way, we want to establish a healthy relationship with the food we eat. Food should not be viewed as all or nothing, good or bad. And it might be tempting to judge a food or your actions surrounding that food as either good or bad. Sometimes you may find yourself occasionally hitting the drive-thru instead of a grocery store, or choosing a chocolate bar over an apple. You might end up viewing the drive-thru and the chocolate bar as bad choices. But you really want to avoid doing this, though, as it can lead to making a moral judgment on your character, which is not helpful. Looking at food and your behavior surrounding your food through a more neutral lens will help keep your emotional and mental health in a much better place. And if you're making more suboptimal choices than you prefer that don't align with your goals and values, be kind to yourself and move on and see where you can make a better choice the next opportunity. You see, having a productive mindset around your health will be essential to your long-term success. The process of healthy living involves forming and nurturing healthy relationships with yourself, with food, with exercise, and those close to you. And your mindset is a central component to this. We can be real jerks to ourselves sometimes, our own worst critics, as the saying goes. And this is especially true when it comes to our weight, health, and fitness. But here's the thing, if we want to see ourselves in a better light, we need to change our internal narratives and the stories we tell ourselves. This is often called our self-talk. You likely know what I'm talking about. It's that little voice in your head that says things like, I suck at healthy eating, why can't I control my cravings? Or I'm just not cut out for this exercise thing. What's the point in even going to the gym? I think you get the idea. Whatever your internal dialogue may be, though, if you want to lose weight and improve your health for good, it's absolutely essential that you create a mindset and self-talk that works for you rather than against you. And I'm going to show you how to do this by focusing on four basic, very important things: agency, privilege, challenge orientation, and self-compassion. These things might not sound like they have anything to do with helping you lose weight, but I can assure you that they are all very important, and we're going to tell you why. Okay, so first up we have agency. Agency is essentially your perception of control. Having an agency-centered mindset means that you will have ultimate say when it comes to your actions, your inactions, and by extension, your ability to progress and change. This is also referred to as your internal locus of control, and it is a critical ingredient for continued success, especially in the realm of weight management. A significant interaction has been found between locus of control and weight maintenance. So instead of saying I can't, you want to try to use statements like I choose, or I choose not to, I won't, or I don't. This might not seem like much, but this small shift in language can significantly shape your decisions. How many times have you caught yourself or heard somebody else say, oh, I can't, I'm on a diet, or oh, I would, but that's not keto friendly. The problem with using this type of language is that it doesn't empower you to be in the driver's seat. Instead, I encourage you to say things that reclaim your control and help steer the ship of your life. Statements like, I don't eat sweets on weekdays, or I won't skip workouts on Mondays, or I'm choosing to say no to that slice of pie. I think you get the idea here. It might feel unnatural at first, but once you get the hang of it, I promise you'll start seeing the benefits. Okay, so next up we have privilege. And this one's pretty simple. If you're an able-bodied person with shelter and not worrying about where your next meal is coming from, you are in a position of privilege. And when it comes to working on improving your health and fitness, it's much easier to succeed when you view things from a place of privilege, rather than an undesirable chore that you have to struggle through. So when you're planning the things you need to do to achieve your weight loss goals, such as prepping your meals, getting exercise in, and making sure you get enough quality sleep, try to view doing these things as privilege. You get to work out. You have the honor of being able to buy groceries to cook healthy meals, and you're lucky to be able to go to bed at a reasonable time. And once you start to view things in this way, you'll start to find that you're much more motivated to do them. Okay, so the third mindset component is challenge orientation. Whenever we're trying to succeed in something or learn something new, encountering obstacles and challenging situations is going to be pretty much guaranteed. And this is especially true when it comes to trying to lose weight and improve your health and fitness. Seeing obstacles as challenges to overcome and not barriers will significantly increase your odds of attaining your goals and living your healthiest life. Saying things like, I can't do this yet, can be super powerful. You might not be the best at meal prep yet. You might not be great at getting good quality sleep every night yet. Or you might not be able to get to the gym 3 days per week yet. But just like most things you've learned in life, with practice and persistence, you'll eventually get the hang of it. You see, never giving up is going to be the key to long-term success. And if you've ever read or watched any biography of a very successful person, their road to success has been filled with massive obstacles, challenges, and failures along the way. But they've still managed to achieve massive success despite. Because truthfully, people with challenge-oriented mindsets don't make excuses, justifications, or use loopholes. They take accountability and ownership of their lives, and that's a huge factor when it comes to success. And if you want to succeed in losing weight and improving your own life, adopting this mentality is going to be essential towards your success. And finally, the fourth, and maybe the most important mindset component, is self-compassion. This one ties in directly with us learning how to not be jerks to ourselves. You know those times where you're a little frustrated with your lack of willpower. Maybe you've had a couple of bad days and you're thinking to yourself, why can't I just stay on track? But here's the thing. Stumbles and lapses in willpower are going to happen. I guarantee it. And when it does, your first instinct might be, I need less self-compassion, not more self-compassion. Truthfully though, if you feel like you need to be harder on yourself, this probably means you need to be easier on yourself. You see, self-compassion actually leads to better outcomes and more success. A study out of Drexel University showed that when participants had more self-compassionate responses to their lapses, they actually reported better mood and self-control over their eating and exercise behavior. You see, self-compassion actually increases your motivation to improve because it's coming from a place of self-love and not feelings of inadequacy. It actually helps you take more responsibility because it's safe to admit that you've messed up. And the sooner you can acknowledge the lapses that will occur, the sooner you can move past them with a positive and renewed energy. Okay, before we get into the next section, if you found what I've shared with you today valuable, then make sure you check out the free resource I have below, including my weight loss masterclass, where we'll take a deep dive into the essential things that you need to do to lose weight and improve your health for good. All right, so next up, we are going to talk about what might be one of the most important things to address when it comes to losing weight and keeping it off for good: your habits. You see, your daily habits and behaviors will form the basis of your day-to-day rhythm that will get you to where you want to be. You see, your habits dictate a large part of what you do day in and day out. They're your body's and brain's autopilot, formed through repetition and influenced by many factors. When you have the right habits in place, they work in a synergistic way to help you integrate healthy actions into your daily rhythm. But when you have the wrong habits in place, these can often be the biggest roadblocks stopping you from reaching your goals. So let's take a look at how to initiate and sustain healthy habits and behaviors through building some appropriate skills. First, let's talk about how our environments can drive habits and behavior. Habits are things we do without our subconscious control. These are things like what you do around the house and work, your daily routines. Our habits dictate so much of what we do in our day-to-day lives. And we have all developed dozens of little habits over the years that have become part of who we are and how we see the world. And most of these habits are on autopilot, meaning we rarely, if ever, give them any thought whatsoever. These autopilot habits, they account for a good 40% of our day-to-day actions and our thoughts. Some of them help us, some of them have little effect on us at all, and there are those that get in the way of us bettering our lives. But here's the thing. Good habits aren't a product of motivation, but rather how we set up our personal environments. So whether we know it or not, we are being pushed and pulled in various directions, for better or for worse, in just about every moment of our lives. In other words, our environments and the cues and context within those environments largely drive our actions and our behaviors. Because of this, you want to engineer your environment to encourage actions and behaviors that will move you towards your desired health and fitness goals. So, how do we go about doing this? Well, you want to focus on a few areas of special importance. The first one being the environments you likely spend most of your time in. Those are your home environment and your work environment. So, your home environment will be the most important one to engineer. You want to set your kitchen up and your living room up, your bedroom and basement and leisure room if you have them, in such a way that productive habits are encouraged and less productive habits are discouraged, or ideally not an option at all. Excellent grocery shopping habits are central to this. So have 1 or 2 days per week where you pick up groceries from a prepared list. Bring home only healthy foods, making it nearly impossible for you to eat junk food by not having it there in the first place. So place healthy staples, snacks, healthy leftovers in places where you can easily see them. Have apples on your countertop, have protein in plain sight in your fridge. Keep appliances that you use often, such as a blender or an air fryer, on the countertop ready to go. If you exercise at home, have your equipment in plain sight so that you're reminded to use it. When it comes time to eat, sit down at a proper table instead of in front of a screen. And when you have to be out of your home for extended periods of time, ensure that you have healthy options with you. For example, it's helpful to have some healthy, non-perishable foods in your car or backpack that are easy and ready to eat. Things like nuts or jerky or dried fruit or protein bars, and make sure you have plenty of water with you too. That way, you won't be tempted to hit a drive-thru or a coffee shop for baked goods or a gas station for a hot dog. And the same goes for your work environment. Eat a healthy breakfast before you leave the house and pack a healthy lunch and snacks to work with you so that you're not tempted to go out and grab some fast food or hit the vending machine at the office. But if you do have to go out for lunch, try to stick with the 30 grams of protein and mostly veggies kind of a meal. Stay away from the heavy burgers, sandwiches, and pasta dishes whenever possible. But there's something very important to remember about re-engineering your environments. It's not going to happen overnight. It will take time. It will take effort, especially if you have a family and young kids that you also have to care for. You don't need to have a complete overhaul of your entire environment all at once that you operate in. Just tackle things one step at a time in a way that you're comfortable with. And most importantly, you know that you can stick to. Okay, so up next, we are going to talk about your social life. You've probably heard the saying before. You are the sum total of the 5 people you hang out with the most. Similar to mindset, we usually hear this term when people are talking about success when it comes to business or entrepreneurship. If you want to be successful, you have to hang out with successful people. Makes sense, right? This is also true when it comes to your health and your fitness. Here's the thing though, I'm not suggesting you completely stop spending time with your friends or family if they aren't living the healthy life that you aspire to, but if you're finding that the majority of your social life seems to be revolving around going out for big dinners and drinks, it might be time to reflect on this. You see, we're wired for empathy, and we tend to level to our peer group in both good ways and not so good ways. This is called normative social influence. We constantly, and at times subconsciously, try to conform to the standards of others, mostly the people we hang out with the most. So, if improving your health and fitness is a main goal of yours, I'd strongly suggest you try to seek out social interactions that align with that. If finding a new social circle that's more centered around health and fitness seems too big of a leap for you, start inviting your existing friends to join you at the gym, or out for a walk, or out for a hike, or a skate. Or start meeting for lunch when it's much easier to keep the meal light and avoid drinking alcohol. Because honestly, sustainable weight loss and healthy living is just that. It's a lifestyle, not just something you occasionally do when it's convenient to you. But I'll emphasize this again. Your new health-centered lifestyle isn't magically going to appear overnight. Just work on it, bit by bit, over time, at a pace that you are comfortable with, and you'll be able to stick with it. Okay, so by now you might be thinking, all right, Mike, I get it. My habits are really important, but how on earth am I supposed to create new ones that will help me succeed moving forward? That's a great question, and I'm going to give you 3 simple tips on how to develop healthy habits that are easy to learn and easy to repeat. The first one is practice what's called a keystone habit. A keystone habit is an igniter habit that sets off a cascade of other healthy habits. This could be a 2-minute mindfulness practice when you wake up, or a few yoga poses, or some body weight exercises, or drinking a big glass of water while making a healthy breakfast. It could also be non-health related habits, such as making your bed or tidying up your room a little bit. Basically, anything that kicks your day off in a productive way. The main point here is to initiate a healthy domino effect that will carry you throughout your day and will be repeatable day after day. The second one is called habit stacking and temptation bundling. I've mixed the two together for simplicity's sake. This is where you combine or stack something that you already do with something you desire doing. For example, you could watch one of your favorite shows while cycling or walking on a treadmill. Or you could listen to a podcast or an audiobook while you chop and prepare meals. Or you can start walking a longer way to work and take the stairs instead of the elevator, or whenever you get a chance. Essentially, you're just trying to combine any healthy activity or habit you're trying to learn with something that you already do or do anyways. And lastly, and maybe most importantly, just take action. Just do it. Just get moving. You see, action is neuroplasticity building, and small actions are almost always better than trying to tackle big things all at once. Collect those small wins. Get that low-hanging fruit and progress in small doses. Because honestly, taking action will be the single biggest make or break factor when it comes to losing weight and living your healthiest and happiest life. But if you want the full picture on the proven science of weight loss, make sure you check out my part 1 of this video series, which I'll link on the screen and in the description below. And don't forget to check out my free coaching resources below, where I go into even more detail on the essential things that you need to do for healthy and sustainable weight loss. I really hope you found this helpful. And if anything in particular resonated with you, or if you feel like I left anything out that you would like me to discuss in a different video, I'd love to hear from you. So please leave a comment below. See you next time.